Good afternoon, I'm Vashan Brown with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. Plumes of smoke continue to blanket sections of the corporate area as a fire at the Riverton City Disposal site in St. Andrew continues to rage. It's understood that teams from the Jamaica Fire Brigade and the National Solid Waste Management Authority NSWMA have been working feverishly to extinguish the blaze since yesterday. TVJ's Anthony Lugg is on location and now joins us live for an update. Anthony, what's the latest?
All right, thanks much, Vashan. No. The area at the Riverton dump is currently filled with smoke. But what I must tell you, Vashan, is that it appears to be business as usual. Garbage trucks are going in and out of the disposal site. I would also like to point out that though the area is filled with smoke since Sunday afternoon, some residents we spoke with say they're not bothered by it. Now, on the other hand, at least two business operators along Spanish Town Road say it's becoming unbearable. They're calling for the authorities to address the issue immediately. Now, Vashan, the local government minister, Desmond McKenzie, is expected to provide an update at a press conference scheduled for 1 p.m. this afternoon. We will provide you with more details. Until then, it's back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony. And as you heard there from Anthony, a media briefing is to be held at the office of the Prime Minister at 1 o'clock to provide an update on the situation at the Riverton City Disposal site. Now, the local government minister, as he pointed out, will be at that press conference, as well as the chairman of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Dennis Chung. In the meantime, the NSWMA is now investigating whether there were breaches in security access at the Riverton disposal site. Amid suspicions, the fire which started at the facility was set by arsonists. Chairman of the authority, Dennis Chung, says security measures are being increased. In the meantime, he explains that 2 fires were lit at the disposal site in less than 12 hours, suggesting deliberate action by arsonists. Mr. Chung says there were also other telltale signs. Gasoline may have been used to start the fire.
Information that came to me, which, I'm really hoping is not so, but the information is that there were traces of liquid found coming from the fire, which resembled petrol. And the appeal that we're making is that if that is in fact so, then, we're appealing to the people who might be responsible not to do it because it costs taxpayers millions of dollars.
Meanwhile, the opposition is calling for a long-term plan to deal with the management of the country's disposal sites.
I believe that you need proper management, one that understands the disposal site management. I think we also need to make sure we have the resources as well to do the work that is needed, both in terms of cover, in terms of equipment. We also need to engage individuals who are living and working on the disposal side so that they can see themselves as partners and they can begin to develop good practices from which to earn a living.
And the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, Susan Stanley, has suggested a medium-term solution to discourage persons from going onto the disposal site. Ms. Stanley says anything that can serve as an economic incentive should be diverted from the site.
Things like tires, things like the plastic bottles for recycling, any scrap metal, that type of thing, it needs to not go to Riverton, because once there's an economic incentive for people to be living and working around the dump, then you will have these kinds of security issues.
Ms. Stanley says serious consideration must now be given to relocating the dump.
Ultimately, we need to identify an alternative site. So, obviously that will take some time. It will involve detailed studies of possible locations, but it is something that we should be aiming for in the medium to long term.
She adds that discussions with the security forces about providing security at the Riverton City disposal site and other dump sites should be fast-tracked. In other news now, with a search on for a new managing director of the state-run National Energy Solutions Limited, NESOL, a call is being made for a special panel to handle the selection process. It has come from the opposition People's National Party. The party says it has no confidence in NESOL's board handling the recruitment exercise. Opposition spokesman on energy Philip Paulwell is recommending that the permanent secretary in the Energy Ministry be included on the special panel.
And other officers in the ministry to conduct this process that will enable persons to apply, for there to be a short list, for interviews to be done, for people to be ranked, and for the person who comes out ahead to be the managing director going forward. I don't have any confidence having regard to the fact that this current board was not able to do proper due diligence the last time. I don't think that they are competent to conduct this recruitment, and it should be done in the way that I'm suggesting.
The post of managing director became vacant last week following the resignation of Caroline Warren. Concerns are mounting in a section of Clarendon following the closure of the Money Musk sugar factory almost a month ago. Member of Parliament for South West Clarendon, Noel Arscott, is calling for the government to take the matter seriously. He said the closure of the factory is destabilizing the economic viability of the community.
Sugar is on the decline. Farmers don't know next year what is going to happen. The factory is now closed. There are persons now who should have been paid this week. We hear they are going to be paid 2 weeks' time after the holiday. The major uncertainty in the area. We need some attention to the sugar industry. It's an urgent matter, and myself and Minister Spencer are equally impacted when sugar is in this disarray it is in at the moment.
A St. Thomas teen is dead after he was fatally shot in the parish Sunday night. The deceased is of a long-level address in the parish. It's understood that around 10:45, the teenager was walking along the road with a group of friends when a lone gunman opened fire on the group, hitting the young man. He died on the scene. The gunman escaped on foot. This brings the number of murders in the parish to 17 since the start of the year. A fisherman almost lost his life after he was attacked by a crocodile while at sea. Residents of Mitchelltown in Clarendon say the ordeal last week is one that they have never experienced before. Here's TVJ's O'Shane Masters with more.
Saved by the bell. That's how residents of Mitchelltown, Clarendon described the ordeal after 60-year-old Trevor Johnson almost lost his life to a crocodile. Mr. Johnson has been a fisherman for many years, but unfortunately, he won't be fishing for a while. It's not clear how it all happened, but Mr. Johnson's boat was seen out at sea at an area known as Landed Deep. Another fisherman, also from the area, realized that the boat didn't move for some time and went to investigate. Upon his arrival at the location, Mr. Johnson was seen lying in his boat with multiple wounds. One resident said Mr. Johnson had to be lifted from his boat.
He lie down with him right on stairs, so can't move, whole eyes on him up, bite up and face. Piece of half and face as a chop out. And was about really cut it 2 feet in the bag now, push it 2 skull to take them in the night. As like a treasure like lift him up, push him in, lift him up, put him on it. And 4 man hold and take carry him out, the man take a turn, come out. Outside.
Mr. Johnson was taken to the Lioneltown Hospital where he was admitted. His condition is considered to be serious. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The local government minister has commended the Portmore Municipal Corporation for keeping the construction of its very first building within budget and on schedule. He toured the construction site of the new building on Friday, along with councillors, the mayor and other corporation staff.
The estimated cost of the construction is $190 million. Based on the contractual agreement, we release a percentage of the funds based on the bills that are submitted. So the bills can run you anywhere from 10 to 15 to $20 million based on the volume of work that has been done.
The corporation is currently being housed on a plaza in what the mayor says is a very tight space.
We have 65 persons that are employed to the Portmore municipality, and sometimes we have to have about 10-15 at all times on the road. So we have no space. Even the accounts department, we really have a serious challenge, or disaster department also we have a serious challenge with that.
He says the building will be expanded shortly after its scheduled February 2019 completion to accommodate councillors as well. Time now for news overseas. The man accused of killing 5 people at a Maryland newspaper last month makes his first court appearance today. A grand jury indicted 38-year-old Jaron Ramos on 23 charges on July 20. The details from the CNN.
Annapolis, Maryland presented memorial flags to family members of some of the victims at a benefit concert over the weekend. Among them were 2 daughters of Wendy Winters, an editor and community reporter for the Capital Gazette.
She would have been here probably covering this event for the Capital. But instead, my sister and I are here to receive a flag on her behalf. So I thank you for remembering her today.
Winters and 4 other newspaper employees were killed on June 28th, and 2 other people were injured when a man armed with a shotgun shattered the glass door of their newsroom and opened fire on the people inside. Monday's hearing is the initial appearance for the alleged gunman, 38-year-old Jared Ramos. He was indicted July 20th on 5 counts of murder and 18 other charges. A column in the Capital Gazette highlighted Ramos in 2011 after he pleaded guilty to harassing a woman. Ramos would later sue for defamation in 2012. A judge threw that case out, and the ruling was upheld on appeal in 2015.
Time now for sports. Ace shooter Lesgar Speedy Murdoch was the only Jamaican winner, picking up 2 titles at the Pan American Handgun Championships, which ended on Saturday at the National Rifle Association in Kingston.
The Pan American Handgun Championships ended at the National Rifle Association on Saturday with a head-to-head competition. However, before the head-to-head, there were 4 different shooting divisions, classic, open, standard, and production, that were shot over 4 days in Woodley, Clarendon, and the Rifle Association in Kingston. Shooting star Lesgar Speedy Murdoch, the only Jamaican winner, won the open division standalone category as well as the open division head-to-head shoot-off. Murdoch led the open division for all 4 days of the competition. He says he's pleased with his performance and the championships are a great attraction for overseas shooters.
People like to shoot in the warmer weather. Some people are coming from the cold. So this time is having these tournaments attract the foreigners. We get more support from them.
The next best to place Jamaican was Andrew Yap, who finished second in the standard division. Canadian Michael Burrell, who topped the division and won that category shoot-off as well, says he'll definitely be spreading the word about the Jamaican experience.
Encourages more people to come, and definitely, I'll be recommending it for the next time there's a match in Jamaica, that's for sure.
Meanwhile, the classic division and its shoot-off was won by American Mike Foley, while Argentine-German Romitelli won the production division, with American Casey Reed finishing second. Reed got his revenge, winning the production head-to-head shoot-off.
Very good stages, good variety, lots of close shots, some far shots. It was just all-around good match.
Acting president of the Jamaica Rifle Association and match director at the championships, Andrew Gardner, says the successful hosting of the competition was a team effort, and for the future, he wants Jamaica to continue hosting tournaments like these.
We're looking forward to using this momentum to grow the sport. We expect that come next year for the Jamaica Invitational Pistol Tournament, we'll see lots of these guys signing up to come to that match.
For TVJ Sports, I am Denise Walters.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Vashon Brown. Don't forget to join us at 7 for Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon and have a great week.